Good evening. This is BoomerRexTonight. I have with me Mr. BoomerRex himself.
Wilmer Rex himself. Here you go. Absolutely.
And everybody has one in their group, asshole.
Hi, Risen. How are you? You seem to have the giggles.
And I am a risen lady heathen. And I almost made it through that one, folks. So,
I thought you did great. You're the best.
hate you.
Why? I'm nice.
All right. I have a really funny headline that I'm going to share with you, but we're going to hold off on that. So keep in mind, funny headlines coming at you. But we're going to start off with Elaine Chao, Transportation Secretary for Trump.
Oh,
And Mitch
yeah.
McConnell's wife.
Oh, yeah. And lots of other things you wouldn't want to be. So, Elaine Chao delivered herself of just a wonderful quote. She says, "We have basically 5 million people who've left the workforce, and because of COVID, and some have retired early, and some have decided not to come back. She's just going to need those workers to do their patriotic duty to come back and help the economy." Hey,
She said
stupid.
patriotic duty.
Why don't you try talking to some American corporations and suggesting that it is their patriotic duty to create jobs that support families?
Yep.
You talk about a privileged bitch.
Yeah.
Every
Seriously.
CEO scumbag in Silicon Valley's goal to retire by 30. Which,
Good
I mean,
idea.
that's a fine goal. I should have done the things to
Get them
paid
out of there and
billions
divide their
dollars.
salaries among the productive.
Aye.
Didn't you have something about companies that can't pay living wages?
Oh, there's always FDR's inauguration quote where he said, effectively, businesses.
All
Oh,
right, so we
that's
have,
my favorite.
so we have to
quote.
fill the dead
I think
air
I know
while
what you're
Asper
talking
There we
goes
go.
and finds.
Yeah.
In my inaugural, I laid down the simple proposition that nobody is going to starve in this country. It seems to me equally plain that no business which depends on for existence on paying less than a living wage to its workers has any right to continue in this country.
Yes, and that is my favorite quote to throw at people when they're all like, "The minimum wage was never meant to be a living wage." Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it
it
was.
aggressively was, people.
And if your company can't pay a $22 an hour minimum wage and make it work, sell it, run,
Yeah.
leave.
As we've said before, this needs to stop, people. You need to go to vote based on if somebody cares about minimum wage or not, because if you don't, they're just going to step all over it, and we're just going to keep hearing the Republicans complaining about how they can't get their cheap food and blah 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 because there isn't enough service, there isn't enough staff, and there's not enough staff because they're not paying enough, they're not giving good enough benefits. So we can solve two things with one swing here by A, universal health care, and B,
living wage.
a living wage. If you do those two things, I promise you, all the problems we're having right now will go away.
Absolutely will. So, anyway, I just, you look at the Republican Party, and it has taken every opportunity since 1960 to tighten screws on the working folks,
Oh God, yeah.
to destroy unions and so forth. And what should be their undying shame, the Democratic Party hasn't done much different.
Gleefully trod hand in hand down the road of tough on crime, simple answers for complex problems. When, no, have you ever talked to an American who's having a cup full of crazy? Whatever your solution's going to be, A, the problem's complex and probably dumb.
Right.
And B, the answers aren't going to be simple.
Well, somebody didn't put his phone on silence
did,
before
and-
we started.
Maybe that wasn't a, it thought that wasn't a law.
Yeah.
Anyway, it probably won't happen again. And that guy who's had the cup full of crazy, yeah, he's probably not a nail. He doesn't need a hammer.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Anyway, no, I can't believe anybody said any privileged. I can't think of any words with more than 4 letters. Said something that stupid.
Any piece of shit here, I'll say it for you, sir.
Oh, well,
I
okay.
got your back.
Okay.
So
That wasn't
this,
necessarily a 4-letter word I was thinking of, but anyway.
this leads directly into our discussion on Starbucks. What's going on with them?
Oh,
what
yeah,
have they
this is
done?
great. Well, Starbucks, it looks like their employees might be right on the verge of forming a union.
Good.
So their
Good for them.
CEO, Howard Schultz, comes out. And I mean, this dude
Got
is
union
desperate,
busters.
right? And so what does he want to talk about? He wants to talk about the trains that took the Jews to the concentration
this
camp.
is
Why
why.
are we
Hold on.
talking
Hold on.
about
Pause.
the Holocaust?
You remember the other day when we were talking about a thing and you really wanted to tie it into the Jews?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, nah, don't, man. It's
Don't.
never worth it because it always looks like this.
Yeah.
Where you
okay.
just go, what?
What? Yeah.
Oh,
So he
my
says
God.
here they're in the trains headed for the concentration camps, and only a handful of the people in the cattle cars have blankets. And so what do? They share. And he says that's what Starbucks should do. They should share their blankets. Okay, so this is coming from a clown
That-
who literally
You
makes.
can't see my face. It is just a blank stare of what the fuck.
Did he just
I-
threaten to Holocaust all of his dudes?
I think he
And
did.
ladies?
He threatened to gas chamber his people. Folks, Starbucks, you might want to get out or make that union faster, please.
Oh my God!
Dear God.
We're talking about a guy who makes 1,000 times
Yeah.
what one of his employees does. 1,000 times.
What was
When
it?
you're-
Doesn't look to me like he shared his blanket.
No, when you're selling coffees for $9 a coffee and you're selling hundreds in a half-hour span, do not come to me and tell me you cannot pay $22 an hour for your employees. Don't tell me
exactly.
that because that is bullshit.
Again, that we've had criminals rob, I think it's Starbucks before, and work there for a day and make a lot of money. And that's not good.
Mm-mm.
No, that coffee
I-
cost 11 cents. And coffee's free.
Anyway, who are these people who think that they're, first of all, in a position to tell a story like that?
Where is
and-
this guy's social media people going, boss? I will start a fire.
You
You're not
cannot-
posting
Well,
that.
no, his excuse is he's Jewish. I said,
Hold up,
clearly
that makes it worse.
he learned,
okay?
yes, clearly he learned nothing. He's the guy with all the blankets.
Right?
So the hell with him. No,
God.
Don't
on
go-
on his own little section of the train.
I'm
piled up
torn
in
now.
his
Like,
little
do we
blanket.
say
Oh,
don't
fuck
buy
this
Starbucks
guy.
to punish the dude, or
Oh, fuck this guy so hard. Nah, I don't know.
No, let's
just
hope
roll up
he's-
to Starbucks, give the people your cash, and go? Like, you don't need coffee. It's fine.
No, I almost want to see how this plays out because if these workers manage to unionize, then fucking good on them and fuck this guy.
Yep.
And we don't need to say more than that. But if he manages to bust that union, then yeah, I think we'll need to have another conversation about this later. So we'll keep an eye on this one. But that's
I just,
fucking.
That's cosmically dumb. That's
I've used the word Gestapo
that's
a lot
a
recently,
new kind
but
of stupid.
fuck,
That's just
oh.
go to the zoo and open all
You
the
couldn't
cages.
write
Kind of
this stuff.
stupid. That's
If Saturday Night Live wrote this, people would go, that's not funny.
yeah.
I
There's
mean,
no way.
it's not.
I just,
Oh my god.
You'd have to be too crazy.
I mean,
No
he
one huffs
obviously-
that much paint. And yet,
Apparently he does. Jeez,
why?
buddy, get off the drugs. Shit.
yeah.
Oh,
Now's a good time to retire, buddy. You got some family stuff, probably. Like,
Yeah.
Turns out he's got a deal with Starbucks that his salary doesn't go down when he retires.
Starbucks, you
CEO.
need to get out of that deal. Like, get
Good-
out of that deal.
good
Avoid this guy
money
like
if you
a
can get it.
plague.
How is that? Yeah. How does a lawyer not get called to just? Oh, we're gonna take that from him.
We need to get
Why?
rid of this.
It's not a
dude.
suicide pact.
Yeah. And
This is a bad for business contract. We'll pay a penalty, but we're
So,
not paying that.
Starbucks, go unionize
Yeah.
and get a big chunk of the profits that Starbucks is knocking down.
Yeah, if you're one of those Starbucks employees and you're trying to unionize, get in touch with us. We'd love to chat with you and hear what you're doing, and we'll
Absolutely.
definitely
Yeah.
talk about what your plans are and such, and how people can help you out. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And now we're going to move on to
Is it funny headline time?
Yeah, I guess I could do my funny headline time. I think this would be a good time for a good joke.
That's a good headline.
Oh, the good joke. All right. So I saw a fun headline today, and it said, "Idiot Ted Cruz losing Big Bird brawl in these Sesame streets." And I found this on the MSNBC YouTube.
Oh,
and
my God.
Oh my gosh, this is hysterical. Okay, so what I need you people to understand right now is that since 1972, Big Bird has been talking about the importance of vaccines and vaccinations. And, he did this starting by getting the measles vaccine himself back in 1972. Okay, so this is not a new thing, people. All right.
Big Bird's one of my oldest friends.
Yeah, no, Big Bird, okay, the other day on Sesame Street, got his vaccine. We talked about it, I think yesterday, we discussed this, and it was a cute, lighthearted thing. But when I heard about this, I could not ignore it. This needed to be stated. So the funny thing about this is after he watched this episode, which I can't imagine why he's watching Sesame Street.
Oh, no, it was reported to him as being a thing he could generate outrage with because a big chunk of his following is anti-vax.
So anyway, what he says, Ted Cruz is calling this government propaganda for your 5-year-old. And he said this in a recent tweet. And holy shit, Ted Cruz, like Hillary, no one likes you. Shut the hell up. Climb back under the rock you sprung to life from and leave us all alone.
Actually, none of his Republican colleagues like him either. They all hate him.
No, everybody hates this man
He talked the
collectively.
crazies into the shutdown.
Yeah, good old Cancun Cruz. So,
No, he runs to he runs to the Bahamas or wherever he
Cancun.
went, Cancun, while Texas is literally
freezing in the dark.
to death in the dark, and he's just like, I'm just gonna go on vacation, guys. It's cool. Have fun.
see ya.
Have fun.
Yeah, this
No,
isn't much fun
And it
here.
would have been fine to send his family because,
Yes.
that's. And it was the going on vacation. It's the same bad look for Chris Christie when he closed the beaches, and then, wait, but not to him and his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So I'm sorry. I
some
gotta
things are more equal
retread
than
it.
others.
I gotta retread it. Ted Cruz, Big Bird is a fictional character. You do remember the last time that happened?
Well, I mean, the last time would be David Nunes and the Twitter cows, but yeah,
Was
no,
it?
when it was
Okay.
Murphy Brown,
Right.
I can tell.
All right. So
No, but
Do
that's
not
who
lose
Ted,
the fight
that's
with
who Ted
cartoon
Cruz
character.
reminds me of.
yeah.
Of Dan Quayle.
No,
This
and Chipper
entitled
Gore
know
freaking
nothing.
out about Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Just ridiculous.
Absolutely insane. So anyway, so we're going to lead this into a possible beginning of being able to fix things if people can
Or
pay
talk about
attention.
how you might find a path.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, again, this was part of a much larger article, but it's pointing out that throughout the pandemic, there were just millions of people. The system just abandoned, right? You say, well, we did rent support. No, you didn't. It was never distributed by the Republican states.
Nope.
They stole it and used it for other stuff.
Shit, did they really?
Yeah, they really did.
Republicans, what the fuck? You claim you're for the working class and you do shit like this, and you wonder why us Democrats are like constantly pulling our hair out. Like, why?
Why don't we stop pulling our hair out and start shouting at them?
I'm gonna
Anybody
start punching
who's
them in their
dumb
face
enough
if I
to
see
think
them
the
in public.
Republican
This is
Party
ridiculous.
is
Not
for
actually
working
gonna do that.
folks
Yeah,
probably
don't do crimes.
ought to
Yeah,
vote
don't
for
hurt
them.
people, folks.
So
I
anyway, it's the point was that there's a huge segment of America that the country has simply let down.
Yeah, agreed.
Right? They didn't
Abandoned.
defend them. Yes,
Just gave him the finger and said,
Yep.
good luck.
absolutely.
No, we didn't. That'd have been one thing, right? That'd be like when we locked the South in with the bosses. No, we did. We locked him in with the Sackler family. We locked him in with monsters
Yeah.
who gave him drugs in amounts that street drug dealers have refused sales that looked like this. And like, you'll be dead in a weekend, stupid.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
your street dealer at
That's
least
a me.
wants you alive long enough to buy more.
Uh-huh. No, they sold a 111-pound college student 300 and change, right? Omega level Oxycontin, like super cancer patient painkiller. And
What did they think was
Why?
going to happen?
Yep. No,
Because
and
it
dead in
made
12
them a
hours.
profit.
Yep, exactly. Because it went ka-ching at the end of the thing. No, again, it's where the pharmacists with their, well, I've got a moral objection to, if you stocked these things, you don't get to talk to me about
Moral objection.
Let me
to
see your
anything.
car. Hold
Yeah.
on. Let's go look.
Yeah.
Because everyone was getting paid, and it's why no one gave a damn. No, that at some very basic level, rural America is experiencing the 90s, and they don't have gangster rap yet.
The point being, there's this huge group that have been just ignored by the government, just shafted. And if the Democratic Party could find a way to get its hands on its damn shoulders, pull its head out of its ass, and speak to these people, and demonstrate that they can do something for
Do
them,
anything.
we'll never have another Republican elected anywhere.
Well, we wouldn't anyway if we would stop letting these Republicans get away with all their bullshit laws to repress the vote.
Oh, yeah.
This is ridiculous.
You know how you prevent that? You win some elections.
Well, we have, and we haven't
No,
stopped
we
it.
haven't. This
We
is
don't win
happening in the red
We
states.
don't play hardball. We had
No.
60 votes when Kennedy was alive for about 4 minutes. We used it to not do enough because Democrats are really actually terrified of they're cramming stuff down our throats thing being true. And that's a good impulse.
The thing you should look at a whole bunch of Democrats and think the reason they're okay with very low taxes on the rich is because they like going to the nice, expensive parties.
Because the majority of Congress people are millionaires.
Yeah. Well, some of them better remember which party they're in,
Yeah.
and they better find a way to support working folks, or they're going to work for Donald Trump.
Well, that's the thing we should be supporting. That's one of the things I keep thinking is part of our problem, and it comes from a lot of us being really interested in kind of having any argument, just willing to be devil's advocate to almost anything.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We have this tendency with the homeless Republicans, his name, who's the one from Ward, Game Changer. Anyway, basically all who got the Republicans to the edge of Trump.
Oh yeah,
and didn't make the jump. And
having prepared the battlefield for him.
Yeah,
Trump didn't change the Republican Party. He just came in and took it over.
He came in
because he didn't believe you had to use the dog whistle. You could say those racist things right out loud, and everybody would love you.
Yeah.
All right.
He did Ronald Reagan with 80% more plastic.
Yeah.
But we are being a bad partner to good Republicans when we go for Republican light, that we're not being the loyal opposition that the Democrat leadership would love to be.
Yeah.
That, no, we should do these things, and we should nibble around these edges. And if we had gotten consistent yardage doing that, a lot of these problems wouldn't be as big as they are.
No, we wouldn't have had the Republicans in charge when they redrew all the districts. We wouldn't have had the Republicans passing voter suppression laws right and left. No.
But it's the way that you can tell. If you're a
just-
local Democrat organizer, you can tell if the national Democrats care if they're pushing you to get minimum wage on your ballot.
Yep.
As a local initiative, because that drives out our base and doesn't make the Republican base go crazy.
Well, and if you ever sit down and look at these gerrymandered districts, you would be disgusted. I highly recommend it. Google gerrymandered districts and just see some of the crazy
There are really
things.
some amusing ones.
And the worst part is that some of these districts are like separated from each other. So you have this one main district and then an island out here, and somehow they have to vote over here. And what the fuck? No.
So, what do you guys think? There's a place where Democrats are going to get gerrymandered. It's in Virginia, maybe. Anyway, they can basically get rid of the Republican in their midst. They have one seat the Republicans hold, but that may dilute all of their buffer, and so Should they go for it, or should they hire a disinterested third party to just?
I think given how
Disinterested
badly
third
they're
party.
screwing up right now, I would not dilute my buffer.
Okay.
So,
No, I would go classic, right? Go with the disinterested third party to draw actual lines,
the
okay?
problem is,
that makes sense.
if the blue states do that and the red states gerrymander, then 30% of the country controls 70% of the seats in Congress.
But that's been true for a long time now.
Yeah, we might
But
want
what
to
I'm
fix
saying
that.
is we need to get rid of all gerrymandering across the boards. This needs to be a government
Win
thing.
some elections, because no Republican is ever going to support that or
Well,
let
and
you
fuck
do
you,
it.
Republicans, because you should want to win fair and square. None of this
Oh, don't be
whining
silly.
and crying about how nobody likes you and you don't have any friends. Like, shut the fuck up. If you actually gave a fuck
Have
about
a
what any of these
conscience
people
and
think,
have all of these problems she's talking about. Power.
First, they have to have a soul. So,
They're paid well not to. Who
absolutely.
the hell is it?
well, and many Democrats are.
You'll
And
never
we
get
better
someone to
stop that shit.
understand something when their livelihood depends on them not understanding it.
'Cause anyway,
no, they should get paid fucking minimum wage like everybody fucking else. And if that
Oh,
minimum
that's
wage
a
is
trap.
$7 an
That's-
hour, then fuck them.
Nope, that's a trap worse than term limits. I have heard and liked the idea of non-consecutive things. That's at least kind of cute. Term limits scare me because I think bosses always find a scumbag to do their bidding.
oh, absolutely.
And
No,
the
term limits.
paying them less.
Let's talk about why term limits
Okay.
are bad, right? The problem with term limits is that now nobody has name recognition. And so the zillionaire with $2.5 million in his pocket picks the candidate he wants, and he gives him money early in the primary.
They run the table early. They have the momentum. Everyone gets to quote their favorite
Absolutely.
episodes from West Wing.
Yep.
Tragedy ensues.
Yep. If you run Pennsylvania, we'll run the table.
And paying them less has the problem of we already aren't getting people who've got better options, right? That's every doctor. That's most engineers long term. That's the kids we really spent a lot of time and effort on making sure they were supposedly smart. Like,
Yeah, but these people aren't running.
agreed. But they're not running now as is. I don't know. I don't think I think minimum wage gives you the same problem as the other. Is now the only people who can afford to run are people who are idle rich already.
Yeah.
And that's all we've already got that problem.
Yeah, we have term limits. We can vote them out.
Yeah, that one's just easier because again, the stuff I want to I just one thing, just only talk about and pay attention to minimum wage. Right, lean heavily into the fact that yes, working 40 hours should be enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, you should probably be tired at the end of the day. That's fine.
That's okay. Yeah.
But I don't know.
You shouldn't be so overworked that you can't cook dinner and fucking, do your laundry. You know what I mean?
Well,
You shouldn't have to have 2 or 3 jobs. You shouldn't have to have 9 roommates. And
in 1960, a minimum wage job would rent you a decent apartment and your wife didn't have to work, or your husband didn't have to work, or
Yeah,
whatever.
we gave you guys the numbers for that recently.
Yep.
So
Anyway, so there are a whole bunch of people out there the country let down. They're up for grabs. We need to get them registered. We need to get them excited.
run out and grab them.
We need to get them to the polls.
Don't grab people who don't.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's the one thing is we're gonna have to. Yes, it's gonna be hard. All of these rules and so no souls to the polls or whatever. Cool, right? Whatever the rules are, find out exactly what they are, and run them. Right? Have lawyers in your thing. Do not hesitate to call the ACLU. Right? If you're anybody and you think they're screwing with your vote or trying to scare you, tell an adult. It's
Dial 1-800-FIX-THIS.
Is that really the number?
No.
Then shut up, because I'm gonna remember that now forever.
That's what it should be.
Fine. But no, we'll see. We're in interesting times. What's the $64,000 thing or whatever that was supposed to be all scary? It was on, I don't know, the 40s. It was one of the big rigged game shows.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember.
It was the $64,000 question.
It's just cute that used to be what we considered big scandals. And now there's some groups that are trying to get Americans not to believe in voting anymore because don't vote. Start blowing things up. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not good. And that would,
No.
a small number of crazy could really start some fires, and they shouldn't.
So we have a bunch of those locked up in Washington, right? We have them locked up in the Patriot wing.
That's such a mistake.
Yeah.
And it's the worst of all questions. What do? You're going to put them in Gen Pop? They're going to say stuff to people and get shanked. And they're in pretrial confinement. No, you can't.
When I'm really angry,
Yeah.
my response is, and the downside is, but I agree.
Because it's wrong in the same way
When you
Rikers
take
Island
away
let
their
the cop
freedom, you're
bingo.
responsible for their well-being.
Yeah.
Period.
And prisons have already not shown exactly a track record we want to talk about tonight.
No.
Yeah.
We can get into that at some point. But yeah.
But I want to talk about that because Heather Shaner said, and she's defending one of the
She's an attorney
January
for an
6th
insurrectionist, and she made an interesting statement.
She really did. She said this wasn't a naturally developed political protest. She says it was a coup attempt, fomented intentionally by right-wing actors who use data mining and psychological manipulation. And vulnerable individuals were identified and persuaded through the internet that it was their patriotic duty to come to Washington and support Trump.
Good job, Facebook.
And in Washington, they were emboldened, and they were ushered down the avenue to stop the steal and storm the Capitol. Right?
And it says something good about Americans that somebody tricked them by saying it's your patriotic duty.
It does. But I want to point out.
It really does make it sadder.
It does. And I will absolutely agree that there are, most of them are probably not in the Patriot wing. Most of them have probably been in pretrial release. But there are exactly those kinds of vulnerable people who came to Washington to show their support for Trump and then wound up walking down the street with a bunch of these cosplay leaders, right? To go beat up some cops and break some windows and found them, and you can look at the videos, right? There are a number of videos where you can see them walking through the Capitol building, and they are clearly just overwhelmed, right? They did not expect to be here.
They expected to stand outside and shout.
Or something.
The cops were going to stop them.
So I'm perfectly fine with them.
We've already discussed the fact that some, the people who weren't involved in shitting and pissing everywhere and stealing things, those are the people that we agree, slap them on the wrist, give them their fine, and move on.
Yep, absolutely.
But these true assholes, right? These true pieces of shit that went in there with the intent and purpose of wanting to murder, rape, pillage, and kill.
Or just indifference on where it went.
Well, first, let's ask them where the idea came from and who helped them find money to get there. And let's put some of the ringleaders in jail. Right?
All we have to do is, go through their phones, their emails, their Facebooks. We'll find all that information out.
Absolutely. So let's do that.
Yeah.
And then let's go after some of the folks that aren't in the Patriot wing. Right? Let's go get some of the folks that are, in Florida. So, anyway. But again, a slap on the wrist for getting caught up in a riot situation and winding up someplace stupid. Fine. A couple of $1,000 fine, 18 months of parole, whatever.
Those are the people that, what's his stupid face, famously was saying, it looked like they were just there. They were between the lines of the ropes and everything, and it looked like they were there for a regular day.
And inside, part of it looked like that. So, but that's not what happened.
No.
And I've got the video.
Oh, there's lots of videos.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I want to see the photos from the official photographer with Pence, who's hiding in the basement.
Okay.
It exists. It's going to be the footage of everyone looking real goddamn scared, because it was real goddamn scary when you could hear them banging on the doors, I bet.
I'll bet it was scary when they came in the doors at the far end of the hallway while they were still getting Pence out.
Again, officer, whatever his night shit.
That guy,
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
The black guy, he was amazing. No, he saved so many lives that day. I can't even imagine.
To their credit.
Well, and the thing to remember is he saved the protesters' lives.
Oh,
I know.
God, yeah.
because the security people were going to kill them.
It's one of the times I understand. Like, these are some people who should get the "you didn't shoot women and little kids" medal.
No,
Because this was a target environment
Yep.
where that had to go through your head, and none of you got so scared you said "fuck it" and got everyone killed. That's the scary.
Certainly went through Lindsey Graham's
That is,
head.
of
He was shouting, "We gave you guns, you should use them."
course, Lindsey Graham also thinks
For any of those of you thought that Lindsey Graham might be on your side.
Lindsey Graham thinks that he's going to hold off gangs with his AR-15. He's going to be that St. Louis couple, only by himself.
The world will be a better place. When
No,
he is
Lindsey
no longer
Graham's
with
going to
us.
send somebody else to fight. Lindsey Graham's a coward.
Isn't
Lindsey
he like
Graham's
a
gonna have
gajillion
Blackwater.
years old? It's just, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so I have something that's
Yes.
kind of funny and kind of amusing.
Okay.
I was scrolling through my Facebook, and all of a sudden I stumbled across a meme that a friend of mine had posted.
Memes are the devil.
You know, so I'm gonna
Unless they're on your side.
I'm
No.
gonna ask you, Mr. Boomer, this question: have you ever heard of Hufu?
Oh.
No.
Okay. So Hufu,
I hadn't either.
for
Don't
those
worry.
of you who don't know, is apparently a tofu product that is designed to resemble human flesh in taste and texture. Hufu creators claim that this is the quote-unquote healthy human flesh alternative for cannibals who want to quit. And it was also said by the creators that that curious anthropologists could try it, to find out. And I read all this and I Googled the shit out of that because I was like, Hufu, that sounds like some bullshit. And I Googled it, and this was a real thing for a period in time. And I was like, fuck it, I'm in. I want some of this, right?
Did you check on Amazon?
You cannot get it anymore. The website closed down. So the website was open for, I think, 4 years-ish.
I want to know where they did their taste test.
It closed in 2006 because the owner said it wasn't worth paying the money to upkeep the website due to the fact that obviously nobody was buying this product. But it's become a thing again. It's coming around again. So maybe they'll start making it again. And if they do, I'm fucking buying some and we will try it live.
Absolutely.
Like, comment, and subscribe. for
Yes.
More weird
I think you
tofu.
can still buy canned unicorn on Amazon.
Yeah, but that's just a can full of little fluffy pieces of corn.
How do you know that, you monster?
A friend of mine had some. I actually think your sister has a can of it across the street.
We might have bought her.
It's unicorn pieces, but they're like plushy
They're chopped
pieces.
up and yeah.
They're chopped up plushy unicorn pieces. It's amazing. I would love to have a
Oh,
can.
it's like your
someday.
jar of pickled assholes.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, it's just for funsies, but yeah.
Oh man.
Monster.
Now, I have an interesting article that Asshole sent me the other day, and I didn't get a chance to read it yesterday, but I read it today, and I now have a lot to say about things, like
the hell did
I do. So, ProPublica writer Eric Umansky. God, I had in my head exactly how I was going to pronounce
That's
this,
the way it goes.
and I messed it up. Umansky.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you want us to butcher your name.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just do it
And,
within. Done.
if you want to leave a comment for us to read on the air, yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, no. If you want to leave random friends' names or your names that are funny, weird to pronounce names to hear me pronounce it,
Absolutely.
comment with it, and I will say it at the beginning or either the beginning or end of our next show. We'll do a funny thing where I try to pronounce people's names.
And you can send us a semi-phonetic pronunciation, right? So Fumansky would be Foomanski.
No, don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that. Just send the.
That's how you should. Well,
No. Just send the actual thing and just listen to me butcher it so you and your friends can laugh. Just do that.
send them both. We won't let her see the phonetic one, and
Well,
then
you
we'll
can't,
tell her
because I'm the one that
afterwards.
checks the comments. You
Yeah,
can't
well.
keep that. No. Well, don't worry about it. Anyway, so This gentleman wrote a terrifying article about what I right here am going to call the beginning of the police state here in America. Now, this isn't really the beginning, okay? But here's the point where they stop hiding their lack of transparency and just leave it hanging out there for all to see. In this article titled Police Watchdog Calls for Full Access to Body Cam Footage, the NYPD says no. All right. So this article discusses situations where the NYPD has used just really dumb reasons to not share videos with the Civilian Complaint Review Board, such as there is a minor in the video or claiming it doesn't exist when the officer says it should. Now, this committee's whole purpose is to investigate allegations of excessive force and other misconduct. Other police departments in the country offer direct access to these types of groups, so there is no concern of missing edited or otherwise messed with videos that are considered critical evidence. NYPD took the wrong stand and told the CCRB, no way. This is very concerning to me as a civilian with a 16-year-old son that I already had to have the talk about how to talk to cops and how he should behave around them. And I can only imagine what this type of thing does for our Black communities who are, and yes, I'm going to say this, regularly terrorized by rogue cops that should never have been given uniforms in the first place. And I'm just going to say, bad form, NYPD. Read the article. Again, it's called Police Watchdog Calls for Full Access to Body Cam Footage. The NYPD says no. It's got a lot of information and it's very well written. Yep. But yeah, no, this is not okay. This makes me so scared and so mad. And I don't even know, like, I can't even imagine what, minorities, right, are going through with this sort of thing happening right in front of their faces. Like, they're not even hiding it anymore, right? They're not even pretending that, no, we're here for the people.
I'm glad I didn't send her that article about, I think it's St. Louis, where the police just aren't responding to 911 calls. And when you call them, they say to call the mayor and ask for more funding.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh,
I may be wrong about St. Louis. It's where there was a fair amount of the Floyd protests. It might be Minneapolis.
It's one of those.
It's one of the usual suspects.
Yep. Fire them all.
Yeah.
Every last one.
If Reagan was right about the FAA controllers, and I don't know, if I was alive, my opinions were on a much smaller world sample.
Do you know what stresses me out the absolute most about all this? Is I was raised to believe that police officers are my friends. When I was a kid, I said this the other day, I knew my neighborhood police officers. My family was best friends with our, what do they call, captain or chief of police. That's the word I was looking for. My family was best friends with the chief of police. I knew him very well. He was a wonderful man, and I knew a lot of the, the teen cops or whatever. We would hang out and shoot the shit with them at school, right? Like, this was, like, such... Yeah. The fact that this has been going on just breaks me, right? As an American, this upsets me in ways that I can't even express, okay? It's so just frustrating.
Protect and serve.
That's your fucking job, man. Like, that's all we're asking you to do is to not jump to conclusions inappropriately because you're scared because they trained you to be scared.
Oh, okay. So let's defend them a tiny bit, which is that we have reduced the number of police on patrol.
Yeah, that's what you said.
We knew we needed to double it in the 70s.
Exactly. And you need to get them places where it's them and their partner. They have much less reason to be scared. And you have to teach them that sometimes the best idea is to step back.
But that's not even true either, because we saw that with the Australian lady right? Him and his partner almost shot him shooting this woman who was just trying to explain the problem because she was the one that called them.
Because he was scared.
So no, that's not the problem.
It's dumber than that. That particular intersection is dumber than that. They failed to dismount their vehicle. If you're gonna stop, get out. Nothing good can happen from inside the vehicle unless, like, you've got a dude in a turret, and I don't think police should have. That would just go badly, guys. No, what was I going to say?
They didn't dismount. They
No,
weren't scared.
It was a thought for the earlier part of
Okay.
it.
Sorry if I didn't.
Nothing.
No. So I
agree.
think my mainspring is winding down.
No, we put them in very scary. Oh, the shooting in Georgia. The first officer on scene didn't render aid because there was no one there to watch his back. Hold up, pause, buddy. I get. Yeah, that's got to be scary. That's also where the job really is, right? That's the mistake. It's the same way it was a mistake to not render aid to the kid who was shot in the park with a BB gun. But if it's gonna go bad, that's the only way you have a chance of surviving.
Yeah.
Right? Is you need to be moving in a way that community, someone there can argue, no, he was being good. So that's an odd page.
A lot of broken shit we need to fix. Leadership and a little bit of money will do it.
It's just my years of getting deeply into politics, because as Asshole will tell you, I didn't used to be very deep into politics. What I would do is come election time, I would do a bunch of research on everybody who was up there. I'd watch all the debates and I'd make my decisions based on that, but I wasn't regularly in the news. As I've, gotten older and been hanging out with him, I've started to understand that that there's so much more going on here. And America, not the world. Like, forget the world. The world's broken. You can't fix it. But America itself is sick. Okay? The way we are running our country right now, the way the government is set up, it's like we have a terminal illness and nobody's doing anything about it. And this is
no, you got a whole
terrible.
political party that is trying to kill you.
But that's my point. But my point is
A whole political party that is voting to hurt America.
Right.
In hopes it'll make Joe Biden look bad.
Right. But then you also have these people that are supposed to be, you have Joe Biden, you have all these people, and they're supposed to be doing things to help and to fix this, and they're half-assing it like Obama did, right? The reason why things went badly there is because he tried to meet him halfway and do all this stuff. And if he had just said, no, this is what we're doing, end of discussion, and pushed it through the way it should have been, we wouldn't be where we are now. And I loved Obama. It broke me to find out how badly he was actually, fucked it up. It's crazy. I never had considered myself a Democrat until more recently. I used to always consider myself independent because I would vote based on, who I felt was, pushing for my, what I needed and what I wanted. And I always voted Democrat. And it's because that's who usually covers, I believe in pro-choice. I believe in, the right to do, whatever, and vaccines and,
the government's got no business
Science.
telling you who to love. Yeah. Art
rights
can't be obscene.
It's just ridiculous to have to
I
sit
don't mind if you
down.
say it's 18 and over, though. So I do agree in some regulations.
No, I'm all for regulations, but the problem is that we're deregulating things that need to be extra regulated, right?
Yeah.
And we're not raising the minimum wage,
What,
which
you want-
is necessary for
No,
life,
those are
literally.
them burdensome regulations about clean air and clean water and food that's fit to eat and medicines that work, and that's just the standard burdensome regulations.
Chemical storage
they keep
warehouses that don't blow up.
Yeah, they keep the good people from making money.
Yeah. No.
It's
Pull your head out, America.
we all need
Starting with the Democrats.
we need to seriously get together, and we need to look at each other and say, we're all Americans, and what do we all really want? What would make the majority of us really happy? And
Until
that is the one thing that we all strive for, right, is, happiness and, justice for all, sort of thing, right?
no,
Ice creams.
no. 40% of America can't pay an unexpected $400
But
bill.
that's my point.
They're struggling to pay the rent.
Yes, but that's my point. You can't have happiness. You can't be safe or comfortable without a minimum wage, without universal health care. These things are
I
necessary.
totally agree with you
Yeah.
that when we have done some of those things, we might be able to have a civil conversation.
Yeah.
But right now, America's in bad enough shape that 40% of America is too scared to think.
Right.
All they're trying to do is react and stay alive one more week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep
And
their
that means
kids.
they don't have time to keep up on the
Yeah.
days of our lives that is modern politics. Right, and know what Joe Manchin has shot down, or what Cinema is tweeting, or what she said to a friend over
And
drinks.
they fall for silly shit like Make America Great Again. Make America Grift Again.
Yeah, no, this is Teapot Dome, not Leave It to Beaver tax brackets.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Democrats get into marketing. Like, politics is a knowable thing. Why aren't we saying, cool, I agree, we should make America great again. What was the tax bracket in 57?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No.
Return to the
15%
1950s tax
taxes on
bracket.
bosses, cool. So now at least we'll be getting them for 15% instead of 0, and hey, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So
Well, and of course, that's the whole point, that they're paid in stock options and other things rather than in salary. Because salary could be taxed.
yeah,
So, and they can write off their wife's $50,000 dressage pony.
that's insane. Someone actually write that up? I mean, obviously, but
Yeah.
Anyway.
I guarantee you.
Yep.
that's lunacy.
And you know his name.
That's madness.
No,
That's
it was
right.
the tax code that
Mhm.
the rich wrote and then paid Congress to pass.
Yeah.
Corporations are not fucking people.
Oh yeah, no, this.
Yeah, they are.
This has its roots.
They
in,
pretty
like,
much screwing
Mine Wars,
everybody at this
Posse
point.
Comitatus and a bunch of.
It doesn't make
crazy
them
things.
people. It makes them monsters.
So
Anyway, we're sorry
yeah.
I'm sorry that this is just something that really, really upsets me, and it for many years has just kind of eaten away at me. So thank you for listening to me.
Yeah,
vent.
tune in tomorrow for more
I
rays of
appreciate
sunshine.
you. Yeah, no, I appreciate you listening to me and hearing me out.
Why don't you just tell them there's money
Think
hidden in
how
their
cool
blood?
it was.
I mean,
There's faster ways
you
to get them
sell
to jump off high
platelets, I
things.
guess. Like,
Oh.
anyway, no, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to hear me rail at the world more.
There you go. All right. Like, comment, subscribe.
All right. As always, love y'all. It's been fun and definitely
And unicorn pieces are a thing.
yeah.
I
And
did not know
Hufu.
that. Yeah.
So
Hufu
for
is
all of
great.
you who've stumbled across that Facebook meme, yes, that
Hufu
is
is
a
fabulous.
real thing.
Oh, man.
All right, so we'll get you all back here
You
tomorrow
got to
night
get me some Hufu.
on Boomer Rex tonight.
After we dump something in your coffee.